The pick is in.
And the San Jose Sharks have made a selection in the 2025 NHL Draft. I'm Gil Martin, joined now by the host of Locked On Sharks, J.D. Young, and the Sharks have taken Michael Misa with the second pick. And J.D., I know there was a lot of pre-draft talk that the Sharks were interested in Matthew Schaefer, the defenseman. How do you feel about having the top-rated forward in the draft instead of the top-rated defenseman in Michael Misa?
Having Michael Misa, I think it's going to be a huge addition to the San prospect pool, right? You got a first overall pick, a legitimate elite 1C. Now you have Michael Misa, who's probably going to slide in as the San Jose Sharks 2C of the future. It gives you flexibility with Will Smith, where you can play some on the wing with Celebrini that we saw last year. Absolute home run of a pick, I feel, for the San Jose Sharks as they continue this rebuild here. And we see all the time, right? Winning down the middle, a Celebrini Misa 1-2 combination is going to be pretty hard to top as these guys start to develop and eventually hit their peaks. So I think for my career, I know there was some concerns of maybe going with Crondell or some of these other players, but I think Greer made the right decision here, getting the best forward in Michael Misa after a wonderful season in the OHL.
He is considered a player who may be ready to play in the NHL this season. Do you think the Sharks are leaning in that direction, or do you think they may bring him along a little more slowly?
He stated that that's his goal, is to try to play in the NHL this year. And we saw with Will Smith last year, a guy who kind of a similar style of play as Misa. I think Misa much more comfortable in the kind of full 200 foot. But they developed him slowly. They would have developmental days throughout the season. And then that second half of the season, Will Smith really took off. So if they feel like he's close enough, I think they might take that same approach with Michael Misa that we saw with Will Smith, and just kind of maybe ease him in the first half of the season. If they don't feel like he's ready, I know college has been something that they've discussed. Or I know there's been rumors of him potentially going to the NCAA next year. I think going back to the OHL with another season with Saginaw would probably not be the most beneficial thing for him. I think kind of trying to place against some stiffer competitions. So I would assume it's probably NHL with the Sharks, or maybe he goes and plays a year in the NCAA.
What is the thing that stands out most to you about Misa's ability?
He could do it all. That's the thing, right? You don't score 62 goals in 65 games and 134 points as well. He can play on the power play. He can play on the PK. He's a full 200-foot player. He's got, as the kids say, he's got that dog in him as well. I think his ability to kind of do whatever you need to do, and if you have that in Macklin Celebrini, who is a player who's going to be a full 200-foot player at C, and then you have that again with Michael Misa. We saw last year, too, he played with Igor Chernyshov, who the Sharks drafted in the second round last year. Those two had instant chemistry, and it could be something we see with San Jose in the future, not too distant future, with the way that those two kids play. But, I think Misa's all-around game and his flashes of brilliance should be super exciting for Sharks fans.
Do you think the presence of Macklin Celebrini, who went through all of this just a year ago, can benefit Michael Misa?
Yeah, between Michael Misa, or between Macklin Celebrini was the first overall pick, and then you have Will Smith, who was the fourth overall pick a year before. I think having those two young guys there, plus all the veterans, and plus, we know Joe Thornton and Patrick Marleau are still hanging around and going to be helping out as well. I think the Michael Misa is going to be in great hands with the San Jose Sharks, who I think have really, with the focus of development being their number one kind of thing recently, I think Misa will be in a good place where the Sharks will be able to put him in a position to succeed even as early as this year. So, I think there'll be plenty of support for Misa.
And for more on Michael Misa, here's Locked On NHL Prospects.
Could Michael Misa be a Macklin Celebrini 2.0?
I'm Sebastian High from Locked On NHL Prospects, ready to give you a breakdown of his game. Misa is a 6'1", 183-pound left shot center who played with the Saginaw Spirit this past season as the captain in the OHL, and he led all CHL players across all three leagues in points this year. 134 points in 65 games, 62 of which were goals. The goal scoring ability is high end. The intelligence is even better, and the playmaking is nothing to be scoffed at. Michael Misa is a complete center who can bring a lot of upside at the NHL level, but still gets the details right night in, night out. He could be a Celebrini or Kopitar style of first-line center with a year or 2 or 3 of development on his way to cracking the NHL. For more on Misa and all things NHL Draft, follow and subscribe at Locked On NHL Prospects on YouTube or wherever you find your podcasts.
And for continued coverage of Michael Misa, check out Locked On Sharks on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts. It's part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.